Because Kinshuk is in this. Kinshuk, you're coming. I thought you would
Yeah,
go.
no, well, they have all gone out, so the house is
Mm.
empty.
All right,
So,
lovely,
Mm. Mm.
lovely. Was thinking, how shall I manage without you, really?
oh no, not at all.
Mm.
Oh,
With my outspoken comments, bad.
It's very good comments. Yeah, good.
Vladimir, you don't think anything about us?
I
Ah,
think also about you, but yeah, I know you will be there. So, but he said he will not come.
yes, I said.
I'm
So,
just kidding. I'm just joking.
if you would say that you would not come, I would think about you.
Okay.
Clever way about, yes. Clever.
Yes.
All right. I shouldn't have said about clever. The word is always tricky. Huh? Whatever you say,
Yes,
there is always
yes.
a presumption. Why do you say what you say? That means there is something else. There is a very good anecdote about this. I will start with the anecdote. It's in Russian, in Soviet Union time, there was somebody who wrote Sholokhov, who wrote the Podnyataya Celina, doesn't matter, that's like the field of orchard or whatever. And it was assigned to Brezhnev, to the a leader. You remember Brezhnev, maybe? Doesn't matter. So it is in the classroom, the teacher says, if somebody will tell you that this book is written not by Brezhnev, but by Sholokhov, if somebody will ever mentions this, that it is written not by Brezhnev, but by Sholokhov, you should not believe him. And the question from the classroom, is it written not by Brezhnev? The interesting anecdote about this is that whatever you say, the presumption is somewhat, why do you say it? That means the reality is different. So whatever we say, there will be always this kind of interesting presupposition of the opposite. Because the word is always acting upon the context in such a way that it wants to modify it. So we always modify the context. That means it was different from before we said about it. So because of this nature of the word, which is constantly creating the context, that we always doubt the truthfulness of what is being said in relation to that what was before. Interesting, yeah? Because it is true, it should be different in relation to that what was before. It has an intention to modify it. Well, it's just for maybe for Kinshuk, he's linguistically thinking all the time how word works. So
Yes.
intention, yes. We had the whole course, the presupposition in speech in the linguistic department, and it was an amazing course because what is being said is one thing, and what is intended is altogether, and what is a presupposition of what it is are two different things. What is intended and presupposition are not obvious in what is being said. You have to really dig into it. You have to listen deeper. The same we do with our Vedic studies, as you notice. We don't take what is being said. We are always looking into what they want to say. And there is something more, always something more. And that something more is what we are looking for. Because if we take only the text, it is really not much or hardly anything for us. The same with Savitri. We are reading Savitri, what Sri Aurobindo wants to say, what he implies or what he presupposes. Yeah? Even more interesting. On what ground he makes this statement? What made him to say this way? And that is the knowledge behind the word. All right, let's start with mantra. That also presupposes something. Om Vang me manasi pratishthitam mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edhi vedasyama ani sthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanmamavatu, tadvaktaram avatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For example, in this mantra, why Rishi has to say, I will speak the truth. Yeah, this is interesting because the presupposition is that you can say something which is not corresponding to the truth. That means he asserts that he will do it in accordance with what is and what is to become. And that means Ritam, what is to become, and Satyam, what is. So he will not deviate from what is and what is to become. And that should protect him, should nourish him, should give him, open for him a growth or space for growth. And it is totally true. If we are in kind of following the truth, there will be always space opening for us for growth of consciousness. All right, we stopped at number 8. I will go through 8 first to make connection to the 9. Sadyach jatach oshadhi bhi vabakshe yadi vardhanti prasuvah gharitena apa iva pravata shumbhamana urushyadagnih pitarohupasthe. Suddenly born, he is carried by the growth of the earth, when the mothers who bore him make him grow by the light. The fire in the lap of the father and mother is as one who defends the waters gliding happily down a slope. Yeah. If we read it as it is, of course, there's not much to get out of it, yes? But if you start questioning who are these father and mother and why he's on their lap and what it has to do with these waters, then we will have more and more to discover. The moment he was born, he grew stronger by Oshadhi. Why he grows by Oshadhi stronger? Because Oshadhi, interesting word, though it is greenery, Osha is from root vas, yeah, that heat, the energy. Usha is from here, yes, it's from root vas, to shine, vaso, the luminous dweller, yeah, within the substance. So Dih is the holding the heat, the energy. The greeneries are holding that fire within them, and by them he is growing stronger because they feed in him the flame. They are full of soma. Soma will feed the flame. full of energy, animated matter, which is ready to burn. When the mothers who pushed the growth forward, prasuvach, those who bring him forward in his birth, increase him by the mental clarity, gharitena. So there are some powers, and there are many of them because this is in plural, prasuvach. And these prasu, literally those who bring to birth forward, forward, su, press out or bring to birth. Yeah? Those birthing mothers, let us say, who bring him forward. And who are these in plural? These are most probably those 10 fingers or 10 luminous principles of mentality, which we dealt with before. Yes, 10 fingers because they actually create the friction for the fire to be born. That is ritualistic understanding, but Sri Aurobindo says these are 10 luminous mental principles, which reminds me of the 10 sephiroths, if you know sephiroth in the tree of life in the Kabbalistic system. There are 10 major principles from the crown to the embodiment. They cover the mental, the vital, and the physical consciousness. 3 in the mental, 6 in the vital, and lower vital closer to the physical, and 1 is physical. So 3, 6, and 9, they build the tree, the trunk of the tree of life. And these are 10 principles, 10 mental principles holding of the embodiment of the being. So they increase him, these principles, with mental clarity. This mental clarity is also a key concept in the Veda, Gharutam, clarified butter, ghee. It's interesting because it's a product of the cow, the milk, and cow is the symbol of knowledge, as you know, Go, the ray of light of consciousness. And it produces this product, milk, from which, when it is extracted, when it is stirred, dealt with, the kind of, we can produce the butter. And then out of the butter, by heating it, we produce the ghee. And these processes of milk, then butter, and then ghee are actually the arrival to this luminous mentality. Luminous mentality is not available to us. It has to be produced. The milk has to be milked from the cow of consciousness. And that milk has to be dealt with, and the butter is to be created by constant, manthana, stirring, yeah, and then that butter has to be heated up, burned. All the water, all the extra things which are not belonging to knowledge, to the quintessential knowledge, have to be evaporated, and then the pure quintessential essence is that purified mentality. So by this purified mentality, they increase him, his growth, these 10 luminous principles, 10 mothers. And he, on the lap of the father and mother, of parents, of his mental and physical firmaments, consciousness, he secures the flow of the higher waters, which are bringing bliss, the flood, the streams, the currents of heaven, which are feeding our earth and making it more and more charged with spiritual energy. So, number 9. Udushya shtutach, udu shtutach samidha yahvo adyaut, varshmandivo adhinabha prathivyach, mitro agnihidiyo, matarishva aduto aduto vakshan, yajatchaya devan. Udushtutasamiddayahvo adyaut, lauded by us, mighty he shone with his high flaming in the largeness of heaven, Varshmandivach, in the navel center of earth. The fire is Mitra, the friend, the desirable one, Idiach. He is life growing in the mother, Matarishva. Literally, growing in the mother, Matarishva. May he, as our messenger, bring the gods for the sacrifice. Vakshat, may he bring Yajatchaya for the sacrifice, the gods, Devan. Young and full of swift energy, Yahweh, I'm translating Yahweh by this sentence, young and full of swift energy. He flamed Adyaut, being established or lauded, stutach, by the fuel kindling him, Samidha, upward, towards or above the vastness of heaven. Adhi, interesting that varshan divach, adhi. Adhi is used always as above the vastness of heaven, and within the navel of immortality, nabha prathivyah. It's also an interesting kind of association, above the vastness of heaven and within the navel of the earth. So it kind of tells us something, because navel of the earth is just the center of the earth, and the above the vastness of the heaven is totally different location. So how come that this fire, the flame, is growing and in both places, yes, as one? Because these two places are one, the navel of earth and the place above the vastness of heaven. The divine is within the matter, and the divine is above the vastness of our manifestation, mental plane of consciousness. Mitra is Agni, Mitro Agnich, to be sought with adoration, Idiach. He is Matarishvan, growing in the mother. Dutach, messenger, who should bring Vakshat, the gods, to the sacrifice. That is his major purpose, is to bring all the divine powers and to activate them here within the material frame. The material body becomes the application. We will start our kind of next new perspectives with this. And I want to mention this, that the body is actually everything we have. The body is the work we have to accomplish. It is our purpose to build the body for the divine. The physical body is the purpose, the aim, the meaning of manifestation. We look at the physical body as something secondary because we split spirit and matter, and we look at spiritual as something different from material. But truly speaking, it's a wrong look. It's not a correct approach. The correct approach, the body, is the aim, the purpose, the meaning. And all other powers, gods and Agni, these are the means. They are to manifest the divine in the body, create the divine body. He is Duta, he has to bring the gods here into the body and make the body divine. And that is the sacrifice. Okay, next one. Ud Astambit Samidhanakam Rishvach Agnirbhavan Uttamach Rochananam Yadi Bhragubhyach Parimatarishva Guhasantam Havyavaham Samidhe. Such a beautiful diction, yes? You could feel the royal diction of the word. Every line is somewhat charged with this kind of intense and pure speech. Ud Astambhit, he supported upward Samidha by flaming Nakam Rishvach, he who is pure, sublime, or rising, he supported the heaven by his flaming, like a pillar supports heaven. Agnih Bhavan, Agni became Uttamach Rochananam, the best, the pure, the most excellent of all the luminous worlds, Rochanas. Rochanas are the overmental realms. So I will read Sri Aurobindo. The fire with his high flaming up pillared, sublime, the firmament, and became the highest of the luminous kingdoms. Luminous kingdoms are these Rochanas, three Rochanas of the overmind. When for the flame seer's life, so for the Bhrigus are flame seer's life, when for the flame seer's life that grows in the mother kindled all around the carrier of the offerings, who was hidden in the secrecy. When for the flame seer's life that grows in the mother kindled all around the carrier of the offerings, kindled all around the carrier of the offerings who was hidden in the secrecy. Guha Santam, staying or being in the Guha, in the cave of the heart. Havyavaham, him who carries the Havya, the offering, Samidhe, kindled. Matarishva, the one who grows in the mother, Pari Samidhe, kindle all around. For the Bhrigus, Bhrigubhyach, for the flame seers. Now these Bhrigus are the Purva Rishayaha, most probably we spoke about this. These are the first rishis, Bhargavas, as we know them. There are Angiras rishis and Bhargavas. There are two families, major families. Bhargavas are those who created Soma yagas, Soma sacrifices. And then there are later rishis, Angiras, who came with the Brihaspati already, with the word. He supported heaven with his rising flame, Agni becoming or being the best of all the Rochanas. When Matarishva kindled the flame hidden in the cave of the heart for Bhrigus, him who is the carrier of all that is to be offered for transformation. So this flame was kindled in the heart for the Bhrigus. Interesting, because the Bhrigus didn't know, as Mother says, when she was asked, she said that, did the Rishi know about the flame in the heart? And interesting answer she gave, no, they didn't know about the flame in the heart. They knew about the flame in nature, these are Bhrigus, but they discovered it. They discovered that there is a flame in the heart that is psychic. This discovery was made later. And I think this is the beginning of Angirasa Rishis and Brihaspati, and a new stage in the development of humankind. Yes? Humanity was kind of stepped into a totally new form of consciousness. That means the flame in the heart. It is known in Gepser, it is known as the mythical structure of consciousness. Yes, when the myth was created of our origin, where we're coming from, that we are not of this nature, we are not of the magic structure, we are not of the oneness with nature only. We also have a flame in the heart which is coming from elsewhere, which is not of this nature, outer nature, which is of the inner nature, and it has something to do here in this environment, hostile environment to it. And this fight between the two structures, between the magic oneness of nature and the mythical belonging to the origin, to the divine, and not to this world, created this split on the inner and outer, the perception of us as spiritual beings and also as material beings. And this split was never fathomed, never overcome. We never could resolve this dichotomy of our being, of our nature, outer nature, and our inner being. So here we have this, that Matarishva kindled the flame hidden in the cave of the heart, Guha, for Bhrigus, who discovered the flame within the heart. And totally new stage of evolution started. Love towards the divine. Yeah? So in the later literature, I always associated this to be with Vishnu, because Vishnu has something to do with, you can see it everywhere in the literature. If you start looking with these eyes at what they write in the literature, you will see constantly this kind of opposition between Vishnu and Shiva. Yeah? So Vishnu is that Godhead who supports the development of the psychic being, Antaryamin, Antaratma, Dvipad, the unborn self and inborn self, these two. And Shiva is someone, the divine, who holds on his shoulders the whole nature, an evolution of Chatushpad. Yeah? That's why he's Pashupati, the Lord of all those who have consciousness. And this consciousness evolves from physical to vital to mental and to supramental. So he holds the whole development of all the creatures. Whereas Vishnu is more focused on the development of the soul. That's why Vishnu has avatars. Shiva doesn't have avatars. He was never a child. There is no Shiva child. Yeah? But there is Krishna. There is Rama child. There is someone to have these very special relations in the evolution of consciousness. And that is Vishnu. And in between these two, with the heart, in the flame in the heart, and the flame in the body, Shiva Lingam, that very power which is rising from the depths of the inconscient upward towards the divinity, because in the depth of the inconscient there is a divine hidden. And that is the force which is pushing forward the whole nature in its development, that Shiva Lingam, infinite development of nature, is a very different force. You know? It is this Kundalini Shakti which is rising from the lower center. And then there is the heart, which is very different from Kundalini. So these two were never reconciled. In our nature, we have both of them, and that's confusing us sometimes. We spoke the other day about love. So, and this love in the heart and love in the sexual center are very different powers. You know? And reconciliation between the two is possible only with supramental manifestation.
Vladimir, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Could it be that the Angirasa rishis came later, and when the Phrigus were there, they didn't really know about the fire in the heart because it wasn't there yet?
Yeah, it was discovered, yes. And that's why we have the development of this bhakti even much later, even in Indian tradition, the bhakti, of Kabir and Mirabai and so on. There was starting with Surdas and Tulsidas. So we have the development of bhakti movement, of the psychic development and awareness of the psychic presence. Angushtamatra Purusha, it was mentioned. It is actually that Vamana Purusha, yes, who is Vishnu avatar. That Vishnu develops slowly in the evolutionary process through different forms, starting with with fish and ending with Kalki avatar, and that spark of the divine develops. Yes, it was there always, but to become aware and to use it consciously, it was known even in the Veda. You can read about this because Agni is approached as beloved, and that is the flame, and Yajatra, worthy of sacrifice. Yeah, it is that power which is pushing the whole evolution forward. So it was known, but for some reason, which I think because it was not totally activated in the terms of the sadhana or spiritual work, totally kind of made available. Other powers were developed, such as nirvana, for example, or siddhis of different kind, which are built mostly on this development, evolutionary development of the mind, of the vital. You could have many powers, many realizations, which are not related to the psychic. And love for the divine. You don't have to have the love for the divine. You can be tapasvin. You can have your will, and with your willpower realize many things, and achieve high consciousness without psychic. And psychic is very different. It is changing totally the attitude. If tapasvin is you doing it by his own will, his own focus, and so on, discipline and tapasya, then psychic has nothing to do with tapasya. It's a surrender, an acceptance of whatever the divine gives, which is much easier path, but also, you have to be ready for it. Yes, Kinshuk, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. Vladimir, I wanted to ask you, does this have anything to do with the development of the individual consciousness in us, the sense of individuality?
I think so. You're totally right. Yes, it's exactly that. Individualization and also body. Body was neglected for too long. Yeah, from the Vedic times, it did not, that split on the spiritual and material which took place. And this Advaitic approach, and all the religions developed the spiritual orientation, neglecting nature, looking at the body as an imprisonment, actually removed from us that connection of the psychic. Because psychic is related to the physical body. It's an amazing thing. We need to arrive at psychic awareness with the body. Body has something to do, very mysteriously connected, most probably through earth. When I read this in the Mother, she says that the earth is the psychic being of the universe, and only on earth, you who want to change in his consciousness, and it's only psychic can do, you have to take a body, physical body. Without physical body, there is no development, no change of consciousness. And only on earth, in the physical body, you may modify the consciousness. That means psychic development. Then tells you something, yes, how body and psychic are related. This body is a unique creation. Yeah, we don't see it, and that's why we didn't see psychic. Psychic is not so visible or so important in a way in comparison to those siddhis or samadhi or nirvana, or you name it. There are many, many realizations, yeah, which you may have. And knowledge can be gained without psychic easily. And body can be neglected easily. Yeah? And that's what was done. And it became a tradition. It became the form, format in which we all perceive the religion. That's why religion is kind of slowly fading away, because nobody wants to live for some, lofty aim without being here in the body. Because there's something wrong about it. Everybody feels it. That's how I think the Veda and the integral yoga are so important. And that has something to do with individual development. Individualization, because body is this individual formation. In the Vedas, they call this body Atman. Atman is the body, and not the lofty self. Interesting, yeah? Atman is the physical body, the self. So they look at physical manifestation as spiritual enterprise. They see it only as through spiritual eyes. This body cannot be something else from the spirit. It's absolutely ridiculous to even think this way. How can this, who speaks, thinks, moves, grows, lives, be something else? Just we are so used to it that for us this is a difficult question. We are so used to this division. Mother always fought with this division. She said she cannot understand why we separate Purusha and Prakriti, all these philosophies. She was so against this Purusha Prakriti division because of this division on the spirit and matter, on two different, which we inherited and we believe in it, and we don't see that material manifestation is a spiritual manifestation. So this is the spirit himself here, right now. So to bridge that is Mother was fighting for, always trying to remove that gap between spirit and matter in our mind. We build the whole philosophy around it. We build the language, the culture around it. We are so firmly established in this division. So we lost the spirit. When I found the self, I lost the world. When I found the world, I lost the self. But now you are here, the mother, removing that division. It's all coming to this, to these two, yes, at the end. But there are stages in our development. There's recognizing the psychic, finding the flame in the heart is the golden bridge between the spirit and matter. So the Vedic rishis view the whole development of nature as spiritual enterprise. And then they found the flame in the heart, which is supposed to hasten the evolution, yes, to make it more concrete. And the approaches are very different. The approach from the heart is surrender. The approach from the flame in nature, Kundalini Shakti, or is asceticism, yes, tapasya, effort, personal effort. As Mother says about the path of the cat and the path of the monkey and baby, yes, the same story. You can either follow monkey, baby, hold them to the mother, yes, with all your force, or you can allow the cat mother to carry you, and nothing you can do about it. Let her carry you. If she drops you, she drops you. What to do? You will not catch her. Yeah? Cat is not catching. Did you notice how cats are surrendering? When you take a kitten, they are surrendering immediately. When you grab them here, they are totally in your. They start doing this. They are happy to be surrendered.
Is that why they say the cat is a psychic animal?
I don't know about that, but Mother loved them, and she loved their independence, and something in them is very unique in a way. In the occultism, they consider them to be the bridge between that world and this world. They are in the twilight, in between the worlds. But that is an occultism, it's something else.
There's a small book about Kiki. Kiki was the mother's favorite cat.
Yes, I know that very well. She always listened to her, and once Mother said, "Look how beautiful that cat is there behind." And she looked at that cat, looked at the mother, and then she brought kittens, and one of them was exactly as that cat, the same color. She got her message. And Mother says that Kiki was so developed that most probably in the next reincarnation, her psychic was developed so much, it will demand the human body for further development. And that made me understand why species are fixed and why the development of the psychic can go through species. Yeah, the more you need the means for the development, the means is the body, the more you will progress, yeah, the higher you will go. And then we come to the end of our journey. There is no other body yet, yeah? And we already want it. We want supramental body for the further development. This body is not enough. This is a half animal body. It is dragging us down. So we want to get out of it into another body which is not yet built by nature. That's what when Mother and Sri Aurobindo come and they say that there will be a new body built by nature because there is a demand of the spirit. What soul envisions is made a world. So if our soul envisions a new body, the world will give it to us. That's how species came, because there was a need in development. And the last verse, Ilam agne porudan sam sanim go Shashvatamam Havamanaya Sadha Syanach Sunuhtanayo Vijava Agne Sate Sumatich Bhutu Asme. O fire, achieve at my call the revealing speech, the many-actioned, the lasting conquest of the light. May there be for us a son of our begetting, pervading in his birth, or himself a begetter, that means continuing in generations. O fire, may there be created in us that true thinking of thine. O Agni, lead me to the revealing word, obtaining light, active in many deeds and eternal. May there be for us our own embodied Son for generations to come. May there be you, your perfect thought in us. It's your. Interesting that embodied Son, or Son who has the physical body for generations to come. It kind of reminds us of this genetic, continuations. Through genome, we continue our evolution of the species of the body to the extent that it gives us more spiritual possibilities in the future. And when the species come to the end of their development, and there is no other improvement possible within this framework, then there has to be a shift, a drastic shift. New species have to come, altogether new. And that transition is very quick in nature, as we know it from the scientific studies, yes? Very quick, within some, few thousand years or something. And that link between them is somehow lost between species. So we have kind of formation of the species which are kind of evolving, developing to a certain extent, but within the certain given framework. The transition from one type to another is very quick and lost. And it is there, of course. That's why we don't know how we came from monkeys, because we don't see that link. It's somehow somewhat lost.
Vladimir, how does Sri Aurobindo describe the process of migrating from one species to another? Does he talk about that, or is that not something he deals with?
Well, directly as you ask, most probably you will find passages how he explains. This is how I understood he views it, and the mother, yes, the species wise. They come to certain.
There's been some very interesting research done recently about the requirement, what it requires for one organism to transform into another. And the process is unbelievably difficult and almost a mathematical impossibility. So if that's true, and I'm saying if because this is a book that Stephen Meyer wrote about this, and he describes what has to happen for strands of DNA to transform from one organism into another so that the cell structure actually changes. And so what I suspect is that if on the subtle level, a new life form comes into, say there's a new energy, a new formation of consciousness that needs expression, that then that descends from the subtle world into the physical world. It's not a physical evolutionary process. It's more of a descent from a higher level of consciousness into and then it becomes manifest in the physical world. It just becomes visible in the physical world.
Well, yes, we can only kind of speculate how it could happen, but this is a very interesting point you brought, that the intensity is so huge and the modification is so drastic that it requires within a very short period, like a few thousand years or maybe tens of thousands, on the scale of evolution, it is nothing. It's just one moment, yes, and like few generations, and they have to adopt the changes, and because you will have to drift from one type, and it doesn't mean that other species are gone. They continue to be. That's why we accumulated so many species on Earth. Yes, previous ones, they stay. So the breakthrough is happening within certain formation, and then that formation is spreading. And like humanity, it wasn't. We had much less number of people, and so now we have so many. So we spread, yeah, and then there will be again breakthrough, and the species previous will stay in their formation. Most probably, humanity also in its biggest number will stay, and the only few species break through. If you through thousands of years, they will change. And but with this new supramental, there will be something very different, as Mother describes. Yeah, absolutely different. That's what you mentioned with the descent. This will be more of that descent than ascent. The formation will be made from above, as it were,
Yeah.
and it will be imposed on this physical. Physical will be a transition. It won't be actually, within this intense period, as I understand this transformation, within this intense period, there will be imposition of the higher formation, which is already prepared, and prepared by the mother. Actually, she saw the body which has to become in the subtle physical. It is very dense, she says, with light. It's nearly heavy with light, like quicksilver type, and this formation has to enter into the physical form and create the physical formation, which is quite a task. So it needs, we know nothing about it. It was never done before, never documented. We just can speculate what could happen. Yeah, but there will be a transformation, which most probably the genome will be used from the previous evolution and modified with this intense body of heaven. That branch from heaven will be transplanted to human soil. Yeah? So that the line of Savitri, which explains a little bit of this, what we try to speculate about. So there will be this branch of heaven will be growing on human soil now. So this human soil is DNA prepared, will be used for its, new body to be made. How it will be within few thousand years or more, it will change and it will start growing into a new body. Mother says that Sri Aurobindo will come in, to us in the first supramental body. So somewhere there in the subtle physical, he's working on this project. This is our aim, purpose. Our purpose is to develop a divine body where the divine in manifested form can have relations with himself in multitude creation. And that is the purpose. Otherwise, if we live only here for the spirit in terms of to get out of the body, then it is not the right way to look at it. Yeah? We live here for the spirit to bring him into the body, give him the embodiment.
That's how we got here. Maybe the way we are now is that
Right.
same process, but just of a lower level.
Absolutely. That's all of us agreed to do this, all from the beginning of time. And Sri Aurobindo says Purusha is in the worm, in every creature. It is evolving, developing the instruments, developing these instruments of knowledge in the physical, which has to become the embodied, divine. So this long and tardy process of evolution, of building him, the body.
Vladimir, what do we do with all this past knowledge, which often contains maybe some truth, but a lot of it is actually misleading for us now?
We have to reconstruct it, I guess, in the light of this vision. And it is deconstructible. It's actually, it has elements of truth, but they are always put into the perspectives which are leading astray. Yeah? But you can't create only untrue. Yeah? Untrue, that means application, wrong context. Truth is everywhere, but it has to be reassembled in a new vision, light. That's what we are supposed to do, actually. That's what I thought the new educational project with the faculties of consciousness should do, and these new approaches to knowledge. Instead of learning philosophy and different types of philosophy, we learn how to philosophically approach any knowledge. Yeah? And then to see different ways how people, what they found and why they found what they found and why they formulated what they did, that becomes very clear then, and then it gives us freedom finally. We are not part of some one philosophical system or one psychological belief that who we are, or one scientific formula. Yeah? There is none of this. These are only the means for our self-knowledge and world knowledge. Sri Aurobindo uses these two, self-knowledge and world knowledge, so beautifully put together. Okay, this is the end of our hymn. Ela is mentioned here. The last one is beautiful, revealing speech. And she is many-actioned, Purudamsam, or many skilled, the revealing speech. The Goh Sanim, she is the lasting conquest of the light. And this is the higher current of the supermind. Yes, there is Ela Saraswati Mahi. So this Ela is that power, revealing word, the action of the higher consciousness which reveals the truth. All right, we can stop here for today, and next time we will take another hymn. If you have anything to add. Shobik is joining us. Hi, Shobik.
Hi, Vladimir and everyone. Good to see some familiar faces.
Right. Lovely.
Yeah. Is there any specific aspect or any text that we are following, or you're picking a certain mandala? Yeah.
We are following the hymns to the mystic fire. This is 3-5. That means third mandala, fifth hymn. We finished now. Now we will start third mandala, sixth hymn. Yeah. So we go hymn by hymn, line by line, and it takes sometimes longer than because we go here and there and everywhere. We don't want to read the hymn through because they will look the same to us if we'll read them through. there will be little to carry, to take. So we go deeper or sometimes away, vast, too far away from the hymn. Then we remember we have to come back to the text. Yeah. So we do this, allow ourselves to do this.
But that's the best part, Vladimir, when you don't stop talking.
Don't stop talking. That sounds ominous.
That's the best part.
Talk.
It,
In,
it did
intention
sound like
behind the
talking,
speech.
really. Vladimir, so third mandala and sukta.
6 sukta will be next time.
Okay, so I can just jump in. There's nothing stopping me or requiring me to go in chronology.
No. There's this. This is the knowledge which is always starts from the beginning. Yeah, each verse gives you the overview of the whole creation. This is the beauty of this knowledge, by the way. It doesn't have to be, logically developed, like now you've mastered this, you mastered that. This is not a skill, it's something else. It works differently. It's like in Savitri, each line can reveal the whole thing. You just take one line, and if you dwell on it, you will see many more things which are presumed, presupposed, intended to be revealed, rather than what is spoken. We started with this, our session today, how speech works. Great. Okay, then we will meet next time, I guess. Let
Thank
me
you.
close with the
Thank you,
mantra.
everyone.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.